Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the final session of the final. 4 frames all, superbly poised, and I wouldn't like to pick a winner, Darren.
Oh, you said it, Dominic. I went earlier on for Stephen Maguire, down to experience. 4-2 up. That's the way it looked like it was going, but fair to Stuart Bingham. Played terrific towards the end to get out of that session, 4 each, so anybody's really, is who wants it the most. This frame's probably a bigger frame for Maguire than Bingham. They're all important, but he has lost 2 on the trot. He'll want to stop the rot and restamp his authority on this match. And this will be quite nerve-wracking from this first frame. The butterflies have got to settle.
Both players, when they were introduced by our MC, Rob Walker, received a standing ovation, and I'm sure that's really lifted their spirits. Fantastic crowd in here tonight at the Newport Centre for this final session of the final. What a wonderful auditorium it is. Either of these players are nervous. They're certainly not showing it at the moment. Some tremendous safety at the moment in this first frame of the evening session.
I think he's having a little go at this red into the right corner. I don't know whether he can find the gap. Wow, that was such a big risk to take. Like Dominic said, there's been a couple of good safeties, but even if he'd made that pot, you felt he was still going to be clattering into the reds. There'd been an element of luck attached to the shot.
Yes, that was just one of those long pots you had to get quite close to, if not pot, in order to find the path for the cue ball to the bulk area.
One.
This needs to run, but it's done well. Just wonder if Stephen Maguire will fairly soon try and get position on the black to get it back onto its spot, or whether he's comfortable enough playing for pinks and blues.
Obviously now there's pink going back on the reds. Won't be able to pot in any of the
7.
4 pockets, the 2 corners and the 2 middles, so he's going to have to concentrate on the blue bulk colours. He'd love to get that black back onto his own spot. He might play for it off this red. Just wants to finish half ball. He's just overdone that. He's played for the black there though. He's still on the green and the brown. Obviously brown being the easier shot, but green makes it a bit easier for positional play. Well, that was an error in his positional play. He's having a little look to see if he can sneak that red into the corner, but from where we are it looks very tight. I think it'd be too much of a risk. And there is one to right centre, but what a risk that would be. I think this is end of his little effort and safety, so Stuart Bingham would be a little bit relieved. That is missed long pot. Hasn't cost him more than this.
Maguire, 11.
Stephen was trying to contact a thin edge there on one of the two reds together at this top end of the table near the cushion. Missed it and cannoned another red on the way back. I do believe he's been extremely fortunate here. Red's over the yellow pocket, but black's in the way of it. Now Stuart can pot the red that's just below the pink into the left corner, but it's a very difficult pot. And he's got to play with a little bit of side on the cue board to avoid cannoning other reds.
Five. Six.
An ideal world where the circle is, that's where we'll be trying to put the cue ball. Needs it to slow down or speed up. It's just about perfect. So, what a chance this is turning into. It's not ideal with no real colours on their spots.
10.
You can concentrate on the blue, obviously in potting the pink. I think the pink would be tied up with the red, so still would love to get that black down there, but for now, just carry on working with the blue.
think the pink will respot. Obviously it'd be better for Stuart if it didn't and it went onto the black spot. But the problem here for Stuart is the way these reds are positioned, getting on the black from one of them won't be easy.
Fifteen.
Now I could see him play a clever shot here. Obviously he's going to play the red right corner. He's going to have to play the cannon off the other red. He's noticed foreign body of some sort on the cue ball. Just where he thinks he can stun through on this red. He might even leave himself for the pink into the centre pocket.
Stuart Bingham. 15.
Well, it wasn't easy having to play with that much pace and stretching as well. Just cued across it slightly. Probably had some side spin on the cue ball, which deviated its path to the red. The side always does. It's like a mini swerve, really, side spin. Could have left this one easier for Stephen Maguire, though. Deep screw for the blue. Didn't time that one well. What's he left? Oh, slightly hampered queuing, but a choice of reds into this right corner.
And this is what I'm on about with the butterflies, both players, even though they played a couple of good safeties at the start of the frame. Obviously, both are not settled just yet.
One.
The cue ball to slow down. Well, he won't be happy with himself there. He'll be quietly kicking himself. He's still in control. A little roll up either behind the yellow or the brown. Yellow it is.
Stuart Bingham. 1.
Well, what do you make of that one then, Tom? That just looks like he's just got down and had a bit of a wild dip at that one. No thought, no nothing.
Exactly, Darren. Do you really think that was the case for a hit and hope shot? I mean, if he's got away with this, he's very fortunate. This, well, no, that's easy, isn't it?
1.
Well, I don't want to be cruel, but, you know, what do you deserve after a shot like that? Didn't give it any thought at all.
Yes, you just can't believe it, can you? He had options there. Whether he's come out a little bit frustrated with a couple of the shots that he's
6.
played previously, I don't know, but I mean, this is only the first frame of this evening session, so that was an extraordinary.
Seven. Eleven. 12.
Well, depending on whether these two reds go to this left corner, we might see him play the little cannon, but if they go, obviously he'll drag off him. Stuck in tight. So he's played the cannon. Has he been lucky? I think so. Awkward queuing, but I think he'd settle
18.
for this. He's now opened everything there. One good pot.
19.
Well. I can't believe that's gone in. I can only put that down to the pace he's hit it at, but
Yeah.
that looks like he's missed that by a mile. But he continues. What an opportunity this is now. You'd have to say this is now definitely a frame winner. I should say frame winning opportunity.
$24. $25. $31.
Lead of 36 points. He won't need to worry about the two reds that are
32.
tight on this top cushion. The loose one just above them. And a colour with all that Stuart Bingham will need. .43 ahead. In fact, just this
38.
red will suffice.
$39.
Well, often Stuart Bingham
45.
has found himself a couple of frames behind in matches before he gets going. But
46.
he's the one who's got going first tonight and takes the lead for the first time in the match.
$52. $53. $59. $61. $64.
Well, there has only been one frame in this entire match so far that hasn't had a 50
68.
break. That was the last frame of this afternoon's session. Even so, there was a 41 in it.
73.
It's been a break building fest, this match, really, so far. Oh, that's not too bad. No, it's not there. But Stuart Bingham won't mind that excellent break of 73 from Stuart Bingham. More than enough to secure the first frame of this evening's session. He leads for the first time in the match at 5 frames to 4.
Thank you, Terry. Back to Dominic and to Dan.
Yes, and I take on board some of the stuff Terry said then, but I don't totally agree
Thank
with
you.
his
10.
analogy with Steve Maguire
Maguire to
couldn't
break.
find an out there. I don't think he looked. He just seemed to walk to the table, get down, and crash, bang, wallop. And he paid the price.
Do you think, Darren, that other professional players will be watching this match and have seen this from Steve Maguire on many occasions where he just lashes out, doesn't really look too hard for an escape? You know, I mean, You could pot a long red against Stephen now and snooker him behind a colour thinking he's going to do just this.
Well, I don't know maybe whether I go as far as that with other players, but certainly that last frame, you know, should have spent a little bit of time to try and find an out. But to trust to luck and have a wild lash, you know, they say little bits change matches, and could that be the little bit for Stuart Bingham?
Well, I wonder if Stephen may be tempted by the possibility of doubling this red. A straightish double. Not quite. Was worth it though. He thought he could get onto a bulk colour.
So here's an option. Let's do it, Bingham. No, he's gone the other way. It was a good red. He just tried to slide past the black there.
Stuart Bingham, 1.
If he can get through to the pot and angle of the red, 2 over from the black, he can play this as a shot to nothing. He can't, so he's electing the harder one. Same pocket. For some reason I fancied him to get that. He just looks like he's in a real positive frame of mind. He looks like he's in control of his queuing.
Superb length with his safety there, Stephen Maguire. Just wonder if he's come out here with a bit of a plan of attack, not to go for so many and to try and tie Stuart Bingham up a little bit. He seems to be playing a little bit of a cagey game at the moment.
Oh, and that little flick on the yellow has come to his rescue.
Cue ball's running well. Nailed him again here, Steve Maguire. I think that's another snooker on all the reds. Unless he can just get between the blue and the yellow and past the pink to just edge that red that's sticking out on the right hand side of the cluster. Problem is, if he cannoned it too thin, he could make contact with another red on this top cushion. I think he's better off playing the shot that he's just played, because he'd overhit that and miss the line. Do what he wants, really. It'd be a miracle if he left Steve Maguire pot on.
Yes, Tom, I do agree with you, but the only problem is playing the same shot as last time. I don't think he can get to enough of the cushion to hit that red. That middle jaws is going to come into play. So he might have to play this red to the right of the pink. This is going to have to be right. Well,
Fault and miss. Stephen
I'm not
Maguire.
quite sure. Did he play that red, or do you think he tried to come off the cushion and take the clip on the other one? But he's played that with swing around side.
Swing around side, I love it. Yeah, I think he has tried to clip that red. Well, he'd have to hit it very finely, otherwise he'd knock it towards this right corner. But I think you're dead right, Darren. I think that's exactly what he tried to do there. But you're also right, that middle pocket bump is definitely in the way to rest on that red near this left corner on the cushion. Oh, replacing this cue ball's obviously pretty important here. Placing it in exactly the right spot, I mean, of course. Oh, it's a long way out, isn't it? It's probably about an inch out there. But as long as the actual line of the shot is the same, I don't suppose it matters.
That's the shot we were on about. He's played it to perfection. It was a risky shot, but didn't he play it well? And again, what a terrific piece of cueing that was. Very good. Steve Maguire knew when he went back to his chair and he left him that long red. He's a bit upset with himself. Just about okay.
7.
On this red to the right corner. So again, if he's half ball on this, he could play the little cannon into the red next to it. Leave himself on the black.
8.
Yeah, quite straight, wasn't he? Still okay. Just drop this black in now. Things are starting to look very good for Mr. Bingham.
I just wonder if Steve Maguire's just feels a touch deflated, because he must have felt that the way he played this afternoon would have been good enough to carry some sort of an advantage into this evening's session. But it wasn't to be. It ended up 4-all, and I just wonder if he went back to his hotel thinking, how on earth am I not ahead in this match? And sometimes those thoughts can carry with you for a few hours into the evening session. And you sort of put yourself under pressure to start well.
Stuart Bingham, 15.
Well, here's his chance. An unexpected miss. Played that with a lot of running side, and it's just pushed the cue ball offline, and that's why he's hit it so thickly.
1.
Needs to do something here, Steve Maguire, just to let his opponent know that he's still there and playing well.
Eight. Nine. Sixteen. Yeah.
A little bit tricky, this one. Just got to make sure he's lined everything up. Hasn't got to do a lot with the cue ball, just make sure of the pot. He's played that very well. To the viewers at home, that would have looked like a very easy shot, I can assure you. The implements, a spider and a swan neck, are not the easiest to master.
$24.
A little bit short there, but he's still okay. Now, if this was earlier on, he'd have just dropped this in for the black. I think we'll probably...
25.
He didn't drop it in. He's played the cross shot, so he's played it well.
$32. $33. Stephen Maguire, 33.
Wow, would you believe it? Stephen Maguire hasn't missed many blacks off the spot, but that was one. And has it come to his rescue? Has it blocked the pocket? I think it has. But are the two reds a plant? No, they're not. Well, he's been lucky there, certainly. Although Stuart Bingham may have a double on here. Ooh, he'd be so disappointed he missed that. If there's an easy double, Darren, that was it.
And he thought he'd potted it. You can see by his reaction, he's starting to walk. He thought he'd potted that. A little chuckle as well. He's looking the most comfortable of the two. Well, I was just about to say, Stephen Maguire has totally lost the plot. But what a terrific shot that was. And now he's back in prime position. He's had a kick. So it's not straightforward, but what a good shot.
8.
It was a risky one, but played it really well.
Nine.
Stuart was very focused, but was very calm and relaxed at the same time. Content, I would say. Like a happy Buddha.
16.
Steve Maguire, 37 points ahead. There are still 67 left though, so needs a couple more reds and colours yet.
$17.
Well, he's not happy with the way he played that and the reaction he had off the cushions, but he's lucky this green didn't get the required contact. The green's come to his rescue, and if it hadn't, he'd have been in no man's land. Everything's hard to him at the minute because he just wants to get back on the board with the frame scoring.
20.
Usually led this match at 4-2 at one stage. He's lost 3 on a trot.
$21. $28. $29.
That one wiped the sea with a little nod off Stuart Bingham. He knows. That red he missed across the cush. He was in the ascendancy. And there you can see
36.
well safe now in this frame. He'll be feeling a little bit better inside. Like I've said on many occasions,
37.
Steve Maguire likes to show his emotions. And I gotta be fair, some of the faces he'd pull and grimaces, they can be quite frightening.
$43. $44.
Everything's looking easy. Well, they came in, it was a best of 9 match. It's level, so now it's back to best of 7s. Which they played
51.
when they first came to the tournament here at Newport, and this crowd are loving everything.
53.
Well, that's amazing now. Pockets are starting to look like buckets again.
$56.
It's still going to be hard to call a winner.
$60.
He's kept the trend going. Another 50+ break in this frame.
$65. 721.
So Stephen Maguire just makes his way back to his seat. So Bingham had first chance in his frame, missed a relatively easy red, but the help of that fantastic plant by Maguire, he now levels up 5 frames all.
Well, referee Zhu Ying just finishing setting up the balls for frame 11.
Thank you.
5 all.
Frame 11.
I
Stuart
certainly wouldn't
Bingham
like to
break.
predict the winner of this.
Thank you.
Some of the audience just waiting to take their seats.
Just going to have to be careful with this next safety shot. That's why he's looking at the side cushion. Only problem he's got with going off the side of these reds, if he catches them a little bit thick, he could move something towards the corner pocket, and he's got this red very close to the blue. So this is going to have to be relatively thin. He's hit it too thick, and that red's gone towards the corner pocket. And the yellow hasn't come to his saving. He didn't like that shot, to be fair to him, to start off. He did look at rolling into the pack from the side, but Stuart Bingham will be happy.
1.
Well, he thought he could stop that cue ball for the black playing it the way he did, but it ran on much too far. Pink doesn't go, blue won't pass the red. So if he wants to continue this break, it's going to be a difficult green. Queuing over the cluster. Yeah, he's just pondering his shot selection here. Don't like this, I have to say. It's difficult sometimes when you have such an opportunity to refuse a pot if you run out of position. I think discretion here will be the better part of valour.
Brown ball. Stuart Bingham 1.
That cue ball keeps travelling. That's a very good shot. I think he's just been slightly unfortunate there that he hasn't covered this red, but that was a very, very well played shot. Unfortunately, he's left Stuart a red. You'd fancy him to get this left corner.
don't know if that's a good or a bad kiss. The blue, of course, won't go. I think the red above the cue ball is blocking both brown and green. So it's a very tricky black here. Won't be playing this with much pace. Oh, good shot. Well, he certainly has a lot of belief in his own ability here, Stuart, tonight.
9.
Played for the red. Just past the brown. I think he's still just about on this. He's going to have to go in and out of the bulk area.
Seventeen.
The green in his best bet. Well, depends. If you've got a little angle on the yellow, you can just pot and stun up, but I still think the green is probably favourite. So he's still looking very positive.
20.
Put that easy misread, the last frame behind him.
21. Yep.
Gives a good perspective of the size of these tables, doesn't it, really? People often ask me just how big they are, predominantly pool players who don't really see much of a snooker table, but
26.
well, they're 12 feet by 6 feet, so pretty much 4 meters by 2 meters.
27.
That's something you can house within the average home.
Just wanted to slide
34.
past them reds, really. Had opportunity then to disturb the cluster, but with 3 reds out in the open, so no point of taking the risk, but he's left himself hampered queuing here.
35.
Again, played it very well. Now he is actually on this brown that he could play into the cluster again, straight into the pink. Just all depends whether he thinks the risk is worth it, because he has got 2 reds in the open.
Yeah, I don't like it because the way these reds below the pink are sort of positioned, he's more likely to glance off them, and the cue ball could go very close to this right-hand corner pocket. See what he does here. Needs to run a little. That's okay.
39. Forty. 45. 43.
So whatever happens, now he needs to get high on this blue.
44.
Now he'll play the shot that I was on about a couple of shots before. Obviously, he didn't think there was any need to play it then, but he's going to have to play it now to keep going. So he wants a full ball contact on the pink. And he's got it, and that is absolutely perfect.
49. 50. 54. 55.
Well, this is frame ball. He's not happy with Stephen Maguire, he's deep in thought. And there you see the equation, 62 points ahead, but only 59 remaining now. I'm pretty certain that Steve Maguire won't have the opportunity to play for a snooker because he'll require too many shortly.
61. 62. 69. 70. 77. 78.
Made 3 breaks, Stuart Bingham, in the course of this match in the 70s, but nothing higher. Can he make a century break?
$85. 86. 91. 93. 96. 100.
A wonderful round of applause from this near capacity audience here at the Newport Centre.
105.
This is as comfortable as I've seen Stuart look during the course of this match to date. That's great stuff from Stuart Bingham, who retakes the lead in this match at 6 frames to 5.
That's a good question, Dominic. That's the $1,000,001 question. But for Stephen Maguire, you do feel that whatever happens, he needs to win this frame. Just try and go into the mid-session interval of this evening's session. Still all square. Do feel if he goes 2 behind with 4 to play, it's going to be a real struggle and battle for him. Because without a shadow of a doubt, Stuart Bingham, he looks by far the most comfortable out there.
Yes, that's absolutely how I see it, Darren. Just seems to be a world of difference between these two in how composed they are. Stuart looks very comfortable and ready to win, and Stephen looks just very pressured.
Well, he can go for this red to the left corner. He'll play on the thinner side of it to make sure he misses the collision with the black. That's a great pot. He's had a fortunate kiss, but again, if he can play one more good pot, he's back in business.
Something that Steve Maguire has said in a couple of interviews this week, that he wants to win this trophy very badly, because I think he's lost in the last 5 finals that he's been in, and that really must be weighing on his mind, I think. And of course, when a top player goes through a bit of a lean spell, the press sometimes gets on your back, I suppose, for want of a better way of putting it. And I think Stephen's also mentioned that he doesn't like that, although all he needs to do is just think of what Jimmy White must have gone through, having lost 6 world finals.
Played that very well. I think he'd have expected more reds to come out of that pack there. It's quite unbelievable that only one developed. Yes, Dom, in his press interview, he just needs to give him the stay, doesn't he? They'll leave him alone then, I'm sure.
29.
Wouldn't be any press people there to interview him, though, if he did that. They'll all have gone. There you see it, the first 9 frames this evening will lift the Welsh Open Trophy for 2013, sponsored by Bet Victor.
30.
Be good for Stuart if the green went. If it doesn't, I don't know how on earth he can get on a red from the yellow. There's nothing available in the cluster except that one loose red that's to the left of the picture.
Another clever shot there. He used the brown
35.
and he put a little bit of right hand side, I think, onto the cue ball. That was very well played. Very clever. He's going to have to pull off a good pot though to keep going.
That was a tremendous shot from Stuart Bingham. I wasn't sure whether he'd run through for the black there to give himself a better opportunity to pot the ball, but playing it at power had to be bang on. And what an angle he's got here on the blue to go into the cluster. Just checking the potting angles, he needs to use the rest.
Blue ball. Stuart Bingham, 36.
Well, Stephen Maguire would have been in his chair thinking, please, please miss this. And he's got what he'd have asked for now. He must make this chance count. Stuart Bingham's been behind right the way through in this match. He put himself a couple of frames ago, 1 frame ahead, and then missed a relatively easy red across the cush. Maguire wins the frame. Again, he's gone 1 frame ahead. Looks like he's going to extend his lead. That blue was far from easy, but if it had gone in from this position, you'd have expected him to have extended the lead. What a lifeline he's thrown, Mr. Maguire.
1.
Well, Stephen believes this black will pot. Well, it does. There shouldn't be a problem here.
Stephen Maguire, 1.
Wow, would you believe it? It looks in there, and it... Wow, no, I wouldn't want to say that that black drifted up slightly. Difficult to tell, but... Well, Stephen knows he shouldn't really have missed that. Sometimes you just focus so much on not hitting the red. You hit the red.
And I think Maguire was a little bit fortunate that black was tied up with the red, because if it had come out, it would have left him a nice easy red to the right corner, and they'd have all been on as it is. He's on this pink obviously, but he's going to be left a little bit of distance from cue ball to object ball. All the other colours down the other end of the table, so this is by far not straightforward. But you would have to say, Dom, is a poor shot played by Maguire. I just think he's
7.
not caught the right potting angle. You always got a tendency that he could have played that and caught the near jaw, which would have missed, so he's edged his bets, but that wasn't a very positive and confident struck shot.
No, and as you can see in our picture there, he's just completely and utterly cocooned within himself. Just seems to have put himself under so much pressure. Well, the difference in the demeanour of these two. Stuart looks confident and ebullient. And Steve Maguire looks like he's frightened to death. I don't think the interval can come soon enough for Steve Maguire. He really does need to collect his thoughts and come out with a game plan. I don't think he expects to get back to the table here.
So this could be one option. Green or brown, he can get to that place. He might even play for the red. That's right on this top cushion. And that's what he's done. He's played for the red on the top cushion.
11. Twelve.
Just asking referee Zhu Ying to clean the cue ball. Sometimes players do that just to compose themselves and give them an extra 10 or 15 seconds on the shot before they have to play it. Because he hasn't got good position here on the pink. And it's an important shot in the course of this frame and the course of the match. In it goes. He's got a tricky red now with the rest. He needs to try and get back
18.
onto that pink, which won't be easy.
So he's at full stretch. Natural angle off this red to come back around for the pink. That's the problem when you stretch.
Stuart Bingham, 18.
You force in things. Well, a couple in the audience shouting out a bit of encouragement for Stephen Maguire.
Tell you what, Darren, we could have some real fun here, couldn't we? If Steve Maguire were to pop 4 reds and 4 colours, what would he do about that red by the black? Would he snooker, do you think, Stuart Bingham on it?
Well, at the moment, it's been a bit of a meltdown for Stephen Maguire, so I don't think he's thinking completely straight at the moment. So your guess is as good as mine, Dom. Well, he smiled, Stephen Maguire, but at the moment he's in a horrible place. Everything was looking so good at the start of this match, positive, couple of centuries, 4-2 up. And ever since, we'd have to say it's been
1.
totally one-sided, really. He's trying to hold on. And it's hurting him. And even though they say it doesn't have no effect, that he hasn't won any of the last 5 or 6 finals he's been in since 2008, is bound to have an effect. Desperate to win and get that monkey off your back.
8.
And this interval, I think, is just about at the right time. That's just pressure with Stephen Maguire. The next
11.
15 minutes, I think, will do him more good. He might even go up and have a knock on the practice table, try and get his arm going.
Thirteen.
And everything's possible now. Stuart, it's been a good performance this evening. I fancied him just rolling the green then, because he's now got to play the shot on this red. We might even see him just knock the black in, play a straight plant. Which he did. So that's the end of the frame. Steve Maguire's going off. He's got a lot to think about in the next 15 minutes. Stuart Bingham will be more than happy with his evening's work. He now extends his lead to 7 frames to 5.
And Terry, mental strength could prove very important this evening. Well, it's everything, isn't it? I mean, they've all got the skill. All the players that's been in the tournament have got the skill to win the event. He's sitting there where most people would dream of being, in the final of a major ranking event. Still in it, it's 7-5, but as Willie said, it's time for him to start moving now. He hasn't played so well in this session. I'm not sure if he played that one.
Yeah, I didn't notice whether he had a look at it first, Terry, but it obviously would have still played a similar sort of shot to... I think he was just making sure it had every chance of coming away from the pocket, going in as a bonus. He was a little bit disappointed now he's finished nearer the cushion than he wanted, but so that the way the white's finished, I would suggest he, was expecting not to pot it. Well, that was a little bit dangerous. I mean, that shot maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 in practice, maybe even as much as 9 out of 10. But when you've got a player struggling as Stephen Maguire is at the moment, don't give him a chance. But the only good thing that's happened, the brown's gone on the black, which he may move straight out now.
One.
There's enough room to go in and out of baulk with this black if he decides to go round the back of the green. The red that his hand's above now is the one he's possibly going to get on. Oh, he's able to hold it. It was a lot thicker than I thought. Did well to hold that.
Eight. Nine.
It's been mentioned a few times that the level in matches played. But Stuart's won a couple of the close ones, 5-4, 4-3. But every other match, all the other 6 matches, whoever's won the match has won it quite easily. Needs a good kiss here. Needs a half ball. Mind you, that white code.
11.
Well, I don't know whether you noticed that on the television, but that was hitting the red a half ball. All of a sudden, it did a banana. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Stephen Maguire.
Was tough though. It wasn't easy.
One.
If he's got an angle on the brown, he'll play into them. It doesn't appear to have got a good angle this time. Oh, 13 red browns should just about seal this frame. It's unusual to have the brown on the black spot, isn't it?
He'll be just pleased he's potting balls. That's all he's got to do to win the title here, is keep potting balls. Sounds so easy.
Five. Six.
Well, we all know what he's going to do now, don't we? But got to hit it full. These will split far and wide if he hits the pink full because they're virtually all touching. And you see, didn't hit it full though.
11.
You've got to get the mixture right there, haven't you? The amount of spin and the pace you've hit the ball together to get that perfect angle onto the top red. Chance gone by there.
Stuart Bingham, 11.
Yes, he needed to hit it full, but as you can see there, hit it quarter ball. There's no point in taking the long red on here unless he wants to play to screw back for the black. Pink and brown out of commission. He's blessed with a lot of cue power. He'll need it to play this one. Beautifully played. Beautifully played. And it appears to have a lovely angle on the black.
He's got to get his scoring boots back on, really. He was so impressive in the first session today. It hasn't shown the same form in this session. He made a 71, of course, in the 10th frame, but apart from that, he hasn't troubled the scorers too much. It's been all Bingham, winning 5 of the last 6 frames.
Probably felt there was a little bit of advantageous shot on the yellow. It was likely to have a red to go onto the pink or brown to get it into play. And playing it like that, you would have thought you'd have got the pink and brown into play. A little bit unlucky there. I mean, should he go on to lose the match, he'll probably feel that that's where he lost it in the first session. He led 2-0 and 4-2 and still came out 4-4. But if he wins this frame, it'll be right back into the match.
4.
Yes, you're getting to the stage now where every frame is a must for Stephen Maguire. Maybe a plant on there. Not quite. And they're not close enough together possibly to turn it over, as we say. You could make it. Certainly didn't get the action on the cue ball he needed.
Yes, anywhere but there. Any sort of pot on the blue would take it on. He may be forced into playing the yellow now. And it's with the rest, it's not a certainty. Fancy him knocking it in if he could reach it. This is a big shot. Very, very good. And once again, very unlucky.
10.
Well, he risked the cannon on the pink if he tries to chip this red in. It'll automatically go around the back of the brown. And if he plays it slow enough, could play to get on the pink, but it's risky to play it slow.
He's got to retain the balance of being aggressive without being desperate to try and win it every time you go through, win the frame every time you go to the table. It's so easy to do that when you're behind. could have come out better. At least the pink's in the open and the brown is available. Whether he can hold for the red next to the cue ball is doubtful.
Yes, and of course the brown will go back on the black spot, so he hasn't got much margin of error. He needs to finish in the line between the black spot and the middle pocket on that line there to be able to pot the red. That's what he's tried to do. Just lost the white a little bit. Could have held it, I'm sure, a little better than that.
15.
Another testing pot for Steve Maguire. They're all testing at the moment. And he hasn't got an angle, it doesn't look like, on the green to screw down for these two reds by the pink spot. They only go into the left corner, so it's yellow. It's a good effort, this is.
Absolutely, Terry. I couldn't agree with you more. He's been all round the table, hasn't he? He's potted 2 yellows, at least 1 brown. I'm sure we could get the balls on the table that he's potted. All sorts of colours have been potted in this break.
19.
There you can see it. We've had yellows, greens and browns only. It's going to be now a blue. So there's 18 points in front. This is 23. He's going to need probably 3 of the reds.
Well, at least they're available, though they're 2 and near cushions. They're not too bad. We wouldn't have put much money in him clearing up when he had this chance, though, the way the balls were set.
Well, he made 2 century breaks, hasn't he? 114 in frame 4 and 110 in frame 6. This, for me, is a better break than either of those two because he's had to work so hard. And if he can make another 20 points from here, that'd be a fabulous break. But unfortunately, he's missed a very easy red.
24.
I didn't see that one coming.
Neither did he. Perhaps he put a little bit too much concentration in getting good position on the brown for the next red, but that was a poor effort after all those good shots.
One.
I think he thought he'd missed that, Terry. He played with a little bit of right-hand side, expected the cue ball to drift a little bit more right. And for a moment he thought it hit it too thick, but it went in. He'd like to play the pink off this next red down the cushion.
5.
Maybe if he just screws back a couple of inches, he can do that.
6.
Well done. Well, considering a colour's been potted, Terry, with every red on the table just about, the frame score's very low, isn't it? All these small colours.
Stuart Bingham has been a bit of a nightmare to play against. You know, he misses the most easy shots you could ever see in the world, and then he does like a clearance of 80 the next shot or something. He's one of those, isn't he? He looks so good in the balls when he gets them going.
That tells us he puts the bad shots to the back of his mind, which tells us his temperament's improved. This for me is probably the key shot in the match so far, just purely because if he gets nicely on a colour now, you'd expect him to go just one away from victory. So this is the key positional shot now.
Played that well. If you had a twitch now, it could have come out then on that shot.
Now Stephen Maguire would expect him to pot red colour, yellow and green, but
18.
green to brown is going to be a tricky positional shot. That's his only hope now, relying on a poor positional shot from green to brown.
Oh, that's gone wrong.
22.
Oh. He's got half a result there because he played to come between the yellow and the black, to play the yellow back into that corner pocket. So it could have been worse, it's fair to say.
Well, he's certainly going to have to take it on. He knows this is a big shot. Well, he's not taking it.
He's playing the snooker behind the black. Perhaps the angle wasn't good.
Stuart Bingham,
But I'm saying behind the
22.
black, touching behind the black he wanted. But, he had blue, pink and brown there in the line. So if Stephen Maguire can hit the yellow, or he could certainly swerve around to catch the edge.
So surprised he didn't take it on though, Terry. He could have played it in such a way that the blue would have been there to cover the pot. Could have played it slow.
It's well played. Stuart Bingham played that type of shot earlier on in the match, and the reds on the table, catching the cushion with a lot aside just to clip the ball on the way past.
Does have a chance to get cue balled in behind the brown here, but if he plays it that way, the yellow's likely to kiss into the pink, so that makes this shot possibly the wrong choice. And there's one thing for certain, that was the wrong choice.
Well, Stuart moved his cue there as if to say the ball just rolled off a bit going down, but as it's turned out, he hasn't given Stephen Maguire a good chance here. This is a tough pot, and certainly going up for the green would be tough. That's the problem, is it's missable at that speed. He had to force that through off two cushions. Cue ball was close to the side cushion. That was not an easy shot.
I'm not too sure whether this yellow is as easy as it looks on our television screens as we see what Stephen Maguire was trying to warp the cue ball to get back up to the table. Yeah, this yellow's not straightforward, and strangely enough it'd be a good shot to get the gap between the brown and the blue to get on the green. Can't get it much side on this. How's the gap?
2.
Pretty good.
It's coming to that time now when he knows that he's got a chance here to more or less win the title. 8-5, they've a long way in front.
Stuart Bingham, 2.
Yes, you called it, Terry. You could feel that was a shot that you could kind of hit at it rather than hit through it, and he's been very fortunate. Okay, he might be snookered, but he'd rather be snookered than left a pot on. No value at all in just rolling up to it slow. I think he's going to have to play this at pace. If he plays it slow, he'd just be pushing it towards the pocket. Don't see the point in that.
Once the pressure comes on you at these times, the touch goes a bit as well, doesn't it? It's all a mind game, I'm afraid. Not a certainty if it hits it with pace. He's just dropped it in, so he's given the pocket a chance, but is he on the brown?
Well, I don't know what I've been witnessing the last few shots. It just shows you both players now have come right under pressure for some reason. don't think he can get to pot this. He couldn't.
Stephen Maguire, 3.
I don't think he could see enough of it. I think he just decided to play a safety shot there. He can't believe it, nor can we. He's suffering out there.
He's been rubbing his eyes for a while. I don't know whether he's had a lot of time in the chair and just looking on all the time, and the lights then are catching your eyes. You're not concentrating and focusing like you are when you're on the table. It's all happening.
Both players are realising how big a frame this is. Bingham to be 1 away from victory. Maguire to get back into the match.
At the end of the day, these are the frames that count, you know. You'll have the big breaks and all that, but it's the man that'll win this frame. Will be a lot happier than if he'd made 100 break. Because there's chances, you know, on both sides here. Missed and unusual shots played.
Great effort. Oh dear. That's could cost him the frame and possibly the match. It's thin, and the pace is going to have to play it. He'll be coming pretty close to the blue. If he hits it very, very thin, not necessarily going to get the perfect line. Well, you can see, one bound to get a good line.
4.
They don't know what's happening, do they, at the minute?
Well, he overhit that, didn't he? By a long way. If that hadn't caught the pink, it'd been back up by the blue spot somewhere. You won't want to pot this for your next meal, I can tell you now.
Do you think there's any mileage in playing the pot, Terry?
Well, not really, because he's 2 points in front, 7 with the blue. I can't see any way you can pot the blue and get on the pink. But on the other hand, there's not a
An easy
straightforward safety,
yeah,
no.
exactly. Maybe you just roll the blue in and then play safety on the pink. Well, no, he's not playing it. He's playing safe.
I can't blame him at the moment, because
Stuart
if he'd have
Bingham,
missed that
4.
pot, it would have stayed on the pocket and given him the frame. So it's a wise choice and a very good shot.
The best shot we've seen in the last 5 or 6 exchanges. Got to hit this full. If he hits it thin, the blue and the white will travel up together. Well played. Good shot. By far and away the most tension in any of the frames we've had so far. It's always a bit dangerous here playing this shot because you can go in off. It's always dangerous, but brilliant when you get it. For a second, it looked to be going in the middle of the pocket, and once again, I'm not sure whether it drifted a little bit. The raise of the eyebrows from Stephen Maguire as he was walking up, looking in the commentary box. He, I think, thought that was in off.
Well, that could be a difference, isn't it? From 8-5 to 7-6. See the white coming back down the table here. It looks, as Willie said, dead in the centre, and then all of a sudden the brakes came on somehow. Now this is difficult. Black's in the way of the natural angle. He's got to put a touch aside on it.
4.
Now then, where's the white going?
Stuart Bingham,
Oh.
5.
Oh, this he has called a miss, and it's a hard one to call there. I mean, obviously it has to be called a miss because it's a relatively easy snooker, I suppose. But that's when the miss rule's questionable, Terry, isn't it? I mean, it was such a difficult stage of the game.
Well, of course, the difference the next time, should he miss, that Stuart will only need the blue. Somebody's going to have to fall over the line here in this frame.
It's been a
Nobody's
strange one.
grasping the nettle, as they say.
And even if he hits this, this is going to be really tough to knock it safe. I just hope that this, if he misses it again, he doesn't miss it the next time. Very well done. Just to knock it past the middle pocket was very well played. Okay, it might be snookered at his next visit, but that was excellent. He's determined to try and go it off, isn't he? But what a lovely shot that was.
Steve Maguire hasn't been able to see a ball for a while, has he? Good stuff.
Needs the blue to miss the kiss on the black, doesn't he? So there's plenty of space between balls. They'll have a go at this one, I'm sure. Blue and pink. Needed for Stuart Bingham.
I think he went for it and overcut it. He was leaving himself a long pink. Obviously, he's got a long pot to 68% Bingham. That's quite good over the match. 33 for Stephen Maguire. One of the reasons he's not in front at the moment.
This is tough if he decides to drag it and try and hold the cue ball in behind the pink. Then with a lot of bottom, you see, just to slow the cue ball down. And that's just about as good as he could have played. I think that's an excellent shot now, looking at it. Not many players would have played it that way. That's an excellent shot.
Frame running now for, well, coming up to 28 minutes. Probably be the longest one of the match by the time they finish so far. As we said earlier, probably the most important as well.
Needs a pair of step ladders here because he's going to have to get the full extension out. He'll have to play a similar sort of shot to what he did last time, but the only problem this time, it's not quite as easy to get there. And if he slightly misjudges the little snooker, it'll be a very easy safety shot for Stuart Bingham. So this could be the key shot now in this match, or in this frame, I should say. It's going to be such an easy safety shot for Bingham. That was so dangerous.
We'd like to be tight behind the pink to make the escape more difficult, but there's risk involved in that. Got to get the blue safe. Oh, he didn't play that. That's a fluke. And if he can pot the pink without fouling it,
Thank you.
he's going to win him the frame.
This is a tough one for the referee. Stuart decides to play the pot in the middle, which he is doing.
Stuart Bingham 5.
He's got it.
6.
And he's on the black. Frame goes on to 30 minutes, the longest of the match. It goes to Maguire. What an important frame that can be. Could have been 8-5 down, but he's pulled that run back now. He just trails by 7 frames to 6.
Here he comes. Here comes Stuart Bingham. As you were talking about him being a fighter there, there's a fantastic shot where he looks very, very focused. And remember, you have to go back to 2009 at the UK Championships in round 2 for Stephen Maguire's last win over Stuart Bingham.
Yes, that won't be on his mind now, though. He'll be absolutely delighted to have won that previous frame. As Darren mentioned in commentary, it's in the studio, 8-5 behind. The match was virtually over. It's now all on again now. You'd have to suggest that Stuart would need to win this frame, otherwise he might come under pressure if it goes 7-all. This is going right behind the brown.
He wouldn't have left anything on anyway there, but now he's got a possible opportunity of having a leave. He's got a big pack to aim for, though. Stephen Maguire shouldn't be leaving anything on here. Almost.
He's got the long one, Terry, next to up in between the blue and pink, and he'll definitely take it on.
He needed to catch the reds nearer the pink then, didn't he, at a gentler pace.
He should take the pressure off this red. If he plays for the blue, if he happens to miss it, he'll leave one of the reds on the left-hand side. If he ran through for brown or yellow, he could almost play it as a shot to nothing, which takes a little bit of pressure off the pot. Well done. That was a pressure pot, but he played it as a shot to nothing, got a good white.
Seven.
He'd love to stick a 70 or 80 in here, I can tell you now, to get rid of that disaster he had in the previous frame, and he had a few chances to win it and pull 3 frames ahead for the first time in this final.
It appears that his timing's gone a little bit, doesn't it? Because he played to get onto the pink nicely. Okay, he's still on the pink, but he didn't really get into that cue ball well. Usually very proficient with the rest. Goodness me. I'm sure he's still in the back of his mind thinking of the previous frame, Terry.
13.
You still get 6 for that, do you? I think what happens when you come under this type of stress out there is that you try and make sure the pot, normally when you're playing really well and you're flowing, you don't think of the pot, you just concentrate on the positional side of it. The mind tells you what shot to play, and you should leave the body play the shot, but we don't do that sometimes under the extreme pressure. We then try and make the body play the shot.
This is key now, just to...
19.
It's a great pack to go into from either the blue or the black, and he doesn't have a great angle on this red to get onto the black, so it'd probably be better playing up for the blue, top side of the blue. He could get onto the black, but needs a good angle.
20.
And he's got the angle, I think, now. So this is the key shot in this frame again.
He had a similar shot to this, you know, in the semi-final against Ding, didn't he? And he played the split, played it absolutely perfectly, and the red went directly into the pocket after he spread them out. Well, that was a poor effort. If he gets on one, he's very lucky.
He's lost a bit of conviction at the moment, isn't he?
25.
Didn't go into those with any sort of pace. Like Terry mentioned, he's a bit fortunate to have a shot on this red.
$26.
It's a nice change to see two players who are not regular winners on the circuit, Willie. I think it's at the moment on the circuit, because I watched a lot of the games these days, we haven't really got dominant figures here now. I mean, Selby's been dominant again for this season at least, and you got Murphy went out, you know, and of course Ding was there till the end, but there's a few of the top seeds went out.
31.
That's a bonus, getting on the one to the edge of the pack if he is on it. Maybe not quite on it.
And for these boys to become consistent winners in the big events, they've got to get there, haven't they, and do it. And
I don't know why Stuart's thinking about going up for the pink. He's having a good look at the pink. Surely just get top side of the blue again.
Stuart Bingham, 31.
He's just lost his way a bit at the moment.
not sure how he was getting from the pink there onto the reds anyway. I don't know if the brown goes, possibly. He may have been playing for a yellow for all I know, to split them up, and he was getting all those reds earlier on.
Very much shorter pace, but he's got the second prize, which is left Stuart hampered.
Going a bit quiet out there. Tension tends to thicken a little bit at this stage, especially when there's a lot of errors. Oh! How about that one? What a shot that was!
Oh, shot of the match. Under the circumstances, the way things have gone in the last half an hour of play, to have the guts to play a shot like that was superb, and he's got the absolutely perfect angle on this black. Just has to avoid that first red directly with the black in playing this cannon. But he's hit the first red, that's why he's only got one in the middle. Just hit the wrong red there.
8.
Just needs to avoid that first red. This is the way they've played the last couple of games. This is a really tough shot. If this was first frame, you'd fancy him knocking it in. Well
9.
done. Good pot.
I think there comes a time when you miss a lot of easy shots, which both players have done in the last frame and a bit. I think you just got to fully commit to it. When you see the shot, you play it as you would normally and just carry on with it. Otherwise, you start thinking about everything, and in the end, that's all you can see is yourself missing it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, are you kidding?
Stuart Bingham, 9.
He's really struggling out there at the moment for some reason.
What's he thinking then in his chair after missing that? After a great red to get in as well, It's so tough.
Certainly not positive thoughts.
Well, you go into self-criticism mode, don't you? And it's like start to feed any doubts you had earlier on. That's what happens. Can I do it in the big one?
The way things have gone, a 40-point lead which you had, even though you missed the blue, is a sizable one. Okay, and get right back into the frame. The reds are in open play, but the way things have gone this last couple of frames, you'd just be glad to get back in the frame.
Stephen Maguire he's lost a bit of colour, in his face. Looks a bit pale to me.
I think it was mentioned at the mid-session interval that he didn't sleep very well last night, so it's just caught up on him a little bit. Obviously your first major final for quite some time, you'd be struggling sleeping sometimes. Be excited for what could happen on the day.
9.
Well, that was a lot better shot than it looked. He had to play a stun run through off the edge of the reds, and that could have gone wrong, but played it very well.
Sixteen. 17. 24. 25.
The kick for Steve Maguire. And I was just going to say, it's gone so quiet out there. I think the crowd are more or less expecting a mistake to come from somewhere at this stage, but it wasn't a mistake. You can see that red jumping off the bed of the table.
He's always got an extra chance of getting a kick. I mean, when you're queuing down on the cue ball, as he was hampered by the blue. With the brown being where it is, it's not a natural shot to come in between the yellow and pink, with the brown being there. So when you cue down on a ball, you see the white's bouncing before it gets into the red. Now, if he plays this gap between brown and pink, it's a lot tougher where the brown is. Decided just to roll it, and that doesn't look in to me.
Stephen Maguire, 25.
Both players suffering out there.
Now then, as Stuart Bingham recovered from his previous miss. It certainly isn't an easy shot at any time, but one you'd expect to pot.
Just failed to hit at that. He's lost his action at the moment. Could have played that a lot slower. Oh, that's a bonus. That's a bonus. He made a magnificent double in frame 4. Went on to get 114. In some ways, that double could prove to be a match changer.
Well, without kicks and missing easy pots, there's a good chance to win the frame here.
Nine.
Play that well. Giving himself a choice now on these reds. You can either play behind them for into the corner or right centre. Or if one goes directly into the left corner, so plenty of options.
I just wonder whether he might try and bring one slightly better into play. Or playing some sort of cannon, but the way things are going, I agree with you, just drop behind them. Now, he hasn't had a 30 break since frame 10.
14.
Surely he won the last frame without a 30. Good pot.
15.
Not the greatest of angles though. He's going to have to go around the world in between pink and green. Maybe just be able to screw past the middle pocket. Doesn't necessarily have to go in and out of baulk. 12 to hold it. Oh, this is huge. This red.
22.
You'd rather have been straighter in this and just screw back for the blues. May still play for the blue, but it's just off straight, as you can see. Well played. You could just drop the blue in, he'd be on the yellow.
This is where it hurts when you're a player sitting in your chair. You know now you've had enough chances to win the match 9-5, and all of a sudden you're staring 7-7 in the face. That's when you've got to dig deep. That's when you've got to forget what's gone.
28.
This match should have been over by now.
30. $33. 37.
Well, Bingham wipes his brow. He knows now that it's going to be 7-7.
42.
So amazingly enough, this title is going to be the best of 3 now.
Maguire, 42.
Stuart Bingham stays in his chair, and it's a frame once again. He probably feels he could have won. Maguire hasn't made a 30 break in the last 2 frames, but he's won them both and levels at 7-7.
Yeah, I know what it's like to win in that arena, and I also know what it's like to get absolutely battered in there. And when you're getting battered, it's not a great place.
Well, neither of these players are getting battered. It is so tense. It is so tense. It's gripping. It's the final of the Bet-Victor Welsh Open. It's Stephen Maguire against Stuart Bingham. Who's your money on, Terry?
Well, we're not sure at the moment. We're just having a debate here with Willie. He's giving me very good odds as usual.
He'll certainly be taking this on, and the way the last 2 frames have gone, he might just knock it in now, because he's certainly been given a lifeline in this match. but at the minute, as you can see, under the pressure, you can miss anything.
Well, he's making 3 out of 10 of his long pots in the match so far, which is very low by Steve Maguire's high standards. He's a good long potter normally. So you're going down there with a little bit of hope instead of belief. Tough pot, that one. This one's a bit easier. Not sure if you can automatically get through for the black. Well, that red seems to be in the way of his normal bridging position, so he's having to bridge on top of the cushion. This makes it more difficult.
Just wonder whether the natural angle is right in between those two reds, or is it too thin? He probably feels he's going to kiss the outside red, which is not a bad thing, because he'll still be on the black if he does. But like Terry mentioned, he's queuing above the red, which makes the angle even worse. Good pot.
1.
Well, he's very close to cannon in that red, wasn't he? Very, very close, so that's what he was worried about. Once again, that red is in a way, it's amazing, isn't it? It's only taken up a small 2.5 inches of the bed of the table, but it's causing him problems. Right in the middle. Steve Maguire went out for a run this morning when I went down for breakfast. You know, he said that he hadn't slept well and he's going to freshen up, you know. He looked about half hour ago that he just returned.
I think Stuart, when he led 7-5 and had at least 4 or 5 chances to go 8-5, may have just been seeing the winning post in his eyes. He's going to have to dig deep again now. He has done all week. Under pressure against Robertson, superb. Under pressure against Ding, superb.
30.
He's going to need it again now.
I think what Bingham has found out is that you're at your weakest when you think you're at your strongest. Perhaps he needs the thrill of that close finish as well to sort of get the adrenaline pumping again, because at the moment he's had a very poor few frames.
Well, this could go wrong. It will also go very right, because these reds will be splitting, the pink will come into play. It's a choice here whether you play on and off the cushion with check side to stay on the black, or you play with the opposite side to go up for blue or bought colour. And if you run through, you have no idea where they're going to finish. Does he have some sort of shot on the pink? He does, but as you can see, not easy.
certainly went with a positive shot there. Not quite sure from here at the angle because Stephen's in the way at the moment, and
Pink ball.
where the white's going to go on his natural path, he can't put much spin on it.
As he stuns it, he can't get onto a red either. Maybe going very close to the cushion. He couldn't really get onto one nicely there.
35.
Still a good pot though, very good. He looks the man at the moment. A few choices here. He's got to set his mind on one and go down and play it in a very positive manner. There's no other way.
That was a lot better timed shot than he has done in the last few. And perhaps just a little unfortunate not to have an easier brown. The blue, as we know, is potable, but there's been a couple of these missed. Probably the yellow is the easiest shot, because you can see more of the pocket in your eye line. Okay, keeps finishing near to the cushions, but he can get onto the black off this one down in the right-hand corner. And if he does, a chance to go 8-7 in front.
That's what I like about these longer matches. It gives you a chance to recover if you have a bad mini session, you know, whereas earlier in the tournament it was first to 4, best of 7. I mean, a few bad breakoffs and you're out. That's why all the players like the longer sessions.
49.
Of course, you have to earn the right here to get to the final, to get to best of 17.
50.
Let's go back to the frame when Bingham led 7-5 and he played the snooker in behind the pink and fluked the blue double, didn't he? And he had that one chance at the pink, and since then everything's gone wrong. So he had a shot to go 8-5 in front, but he hasn't really had a good chance since.
57.
Yes, it's hard to explain what happens when you're sitting there afterwards. That, but it's a little bit like, you know, your numbers come up on the lottery and you've lost your ticket, you know, and it's something taken away from you rather than, you know, that you've lost something yourself.
64.
This has been a very, very good break considering what's happened in the 3 or 4 previous frames when
65.
both players were struggling. Been given a new lease of life and he's taken it with both hands.
He's the man with a spring in his step now.
72.
Looked out of it not so long ago.
Yes, I think on what we've seen, Terry, it would almost be a shame if it didn't go to the final frame. Both these players have put everything in. They've both missed an awful lot of shots under the pressure, but I think all in all they've both played well enough to have it go to 17 frames.
77.
Well, a fabulous break of 77 from Stephen Maguire right at the right time. He did it when he had to, and he now leads for the first time in this match at 8-7. But Maguire's certainly got the bit between his teeth now. Bingham's going to have to dig deep.
What a great match this is. It's had everything. Big breaks from both players. Players going ahead and being caught, and then the other player going ahead. Lots of missed chances. Wonderful entertainment.
This frame 13 will live in a lot of people's memories. How nervous they both became. You just knew it was going to happen, didn't you? You knew he was going to dig deep somehow. Not perfect on the black. He's going to have to play in the bunch. Great pot, this. Needs a bit of luck, and I don't think he's got any.
Hit that quite well then, and I don't think he could have split them and got a ball in the corner pocket. Really was hoping for something in the middle either side. And you can see they spread quite well.
Stuart Bingham, 8.
Stuart walked round then to see if Stephen Maguire could get past the yellow to pot the red on the left side of the table then. You can't get at any part of the red as it turns out.
Probably wondering why the referee's kind of looking behind the shots and things. He just needs to know exactly where the cue ball is, just in case Maguire plays a thin safety shot and doesn't hit it. Now, there is a red in the middle, but he's near enough the cushion not to make it available. If that cue ball had been a couple of inches out, he could have played it. Yes, if 2 inches further in the table, he could have played the stun to get on the black, but he won't. Just playing the safety shot towards the jaws of the yellow pocket.
Yes, it's at times like this, Willies, you've got to find the strength of you to turn the shot down. It can be very difficult. Some people say it is a brave shot, but the truth of it is, you've actually bottled it by going for it, haven't you?
Stephen Maguire looks ready to attempt this long pot. Stuart was disappointed he didn't find the top cushion. He's missed an awful lot of these this evening. Everyone thick. But not this time. Needs a kiss, otherwise it's only safety.
1.
I think that was right into the heart of the pocket. I mean, when you consider he's missed 1 in every 3 shots of those he's played. And this roll-up is a bit tricky, Terry, isn't it?
Yes, but the difference is now, where the body looks the same, but the mind is stronger, isn't it? After winning those frames, and
Stephen Maguire, 4.
well, it's a risky shot to play, but he was always going to leave the red with the centre.
He needs this red to go safe. He can play it in and out of the black spot area, which he has done. And this is a good shot. This is at that time, that was excellent. A lot of pressure on that safety. Well, the aggressive shot is the red just below the pink, but he's going to play the one nearest the black, trying to keep things a little bit tight at the moment. Not the best of safety shots. The green's come to his rescue though.
Hit that one definitely. Wasn't going anywhere near the black. Turned out okay. No, then that red to the right of the pack. May go. He's had a look at it. It's a very difficult pot, and he'd be playing like a semi-safety as well, taking the cue ball back into the balk area. Picked that one out. Needs the cue ball to stop. I think it's gone too far. So he's played two very good long pots. Could cut the brown in, but there's risk. Doesn't like it.
Green ball. Stephen Maguire 1.
That could be a telling safety shot. The three reds that are in line just below the pink, if you can rest on them, but how does he get there? If you can do it off one cushion, he might play it. Ideally, obviously, like to hit the red on the right-hand side cushion, but it's very tough to get to that one. And sometimes you get a two-cushion escape where you can go off two cushions and skim a red, go back to balk, but I don't think there's one of those available here. I can see what he's going to play. He may play off the side cushion here, the left cushion, with a touch of side, and try and flick the line of three reds that are to the left and below the pink, and leave the cue ball perhaps down by the black spot. That's another one I got right. Well, I've got to be honest. I mean, that's he screwed back off the red. Okay, he played probably the shot that Terry was saying, thin off one of those reds, but because he hit it full ball with all the screw on it, it's amazing what reaction that cue ball had after hitting the red.
That was hit and hope. I could never have played that, to be honest with you. I mean, he had that line of three, that's why he said it, because he had three reds he could have clipped, and ended up safe. But he got safe anyway. He's got a pot on here. Look at Steve Maguire's face, he knows as well. Once again, very difficult with the cue ball tight on the cushion, a thin cut. Good try. Do you know, the best contests in sport always seems to be the ones that the score is in doubt until the end.
That's another good safety shot. Oh, there's just a gap appeared. I think he can get through to the potting angle of this red. If he can, he'll take it on, because the cue ball is naturally going up for one of the balk colours, or possibly the black.
You may have to put a touch of side on this, if he's taking the pot down anyway. He's got it.
Well, it's Steve Maguire's turn to possibly be faced with a very, very tricky safety.
Stuart Bingham.
And that's a clever shot. Bringing reds into play, making it slightly more difficult, but he can get through to this red that's on the right-hand side cushion. Can he? It looks like it's a bit tighter at second glance, doesn't it? We had a quick look at it there. We'll have another look now and see whether we think. You're touching the yellow. We can't see it. Plays into the side of the pack. He's got to hit the red that's probably just to the right of the brown.
He's not sure if he can hit the cushion in the right place with the look of it to play that shot. It looks on. Needs to be gentle.
That's what he's played. Very well done. Very well done. Well, the way Stuart's looking, this must be very close to be able to see the red in the middle of the three on that left-hand side. We'll probably have a little look from one or other cameras. No, he's changed his mind. He feels he can't get there. This may be a re-rack now because this could take some time. Both players have agreed, and a re-rack it is. It was going nowhere there for the next few minutes. Steve Maguire breaking off for the second time in frame 16.
Whatever else you do, don't hit the blue. That's what Frank Allen used to say. Father of modern day coaching.
Doesn't mind hitting the blue here off two cushions. Oh, he fouled the blue. That's very nice of Stuart Bingham to own up to that, because the referee didn't spot it. Might be put him to bat again here.
Yeah, I think his body was hiding the blue in it from the referee. So. Worth a try, this red. It's a very thin cut, but not quite sure if he'd fancies it. He's have to play it with a lot of left-hand side to throw the cue ball thin. He'd be on the blue for certain. He's turning it down. Too thin, possibly. Nothing wrong in that. He thought he should have got behind the blue, obviously. Would have been a difficult escape as well.
Well, this is really tricky. I wonder if actually trying to pot this and trying to get the gap. That's why it was tricky, because either way he played it, it was very risky. Steve Maguire has his first chance to win the match.
He's not on the blue and he's not in the pink in the middle, but it goes in the corner. Thought it was a tough pot he took on there, you know, but still you've got to make a decision. If you feel you fancy the pot, you should take it on, but at this stage it looked a little bit on the risky side. Of course, it always looks worse than when you miss it and the reds hit the pack. It looks a little bit more reckless.
7.
Got to go with the shot you think is the best at the time.
8.
And then she left a nice angle on this red.
15.
Not much.
Yeah, he's going to have to bounce it in, Terry, isn't he? He's even going to thinking about playing the screw back, which is strange because that other red could be in the way. He could snooker himself there. Oh, what a horrible kick. Mind you, that was... It's a shame that that had to come into fruition there because that's just completely spoilt the shot. That was probably the biggest kick we've seen this week. I mean, just exploded. But I don't know how he was getting on the black playing a screw back, to be honest. The red was going to be in the way.
Oh, he's gone in off the blue. Which you could say he's very lucky, but on the other hand, he's not on the colour now. He would have had an easy blue. You can see he just shaved it on the way past. Amazing.
Well, the only way he can get the white tight on the cushion behind the brown is by playing the blue, and of course if he plays that way, the blue could go in, which he wouldn't want to happen. So he's looking at an alternative. Might be better to play this cushion first so he definitely doesn't pot the blue. He has decided to play the pot. And this red is very tricky.
6.
It was part of the plan when he took the blue on to take this red on. Looks like he's going close to the blue, yeah, isn't it, with the white cue ball? No. Hardly thick.
Stuart Bingham, 6.
Not bad. The red in the far knuckle is a good chance you could have left something easy on there.
The tension is really into this match now. Bingham because he hasn't won a major in this country. Maguire because he hasn't won one for some 5 or 6 years, and it's really beginning to tell.
That was good. Could have been very good, a fraction more pace. Well judged. If he'd caught that red any thinner, he'd have left it over the hole, so he couldn't really get behind the yellow and green. Stewart's got a free shot on here. You can take this red on and stun across to the left cushion. Come on to the black. Oh, well, he's hit that so bad that the whites come out and left a red on. Or is it? Stephen Maguire's having a look at it. Doesn't like it. That's because the white is automatically going to cannon into the red if he takes this on.
It was amazing the expression on Stuart's face as he went back to the chair. He just realised how poorly he'd hit that. And as Terry mentioned, very lucky to get near the cushion. Just keep an eye on how bad. It's the white that's the bad shot. I mean, when you consider the white's supposed to be a foot off the cushion and almost straight on the black, you just can't believe how badly he hit it. But as Terry mentioned, this is very tricky. Not too sure they can get around the back of the black. He'll certainly may possibly kiss into the black here. Good shot. That was a pressure shot.
When he had a monstrous kick, didn't he, the previous shot, when he had a chance to win this frame and win the match. And then one good positional shot here. He'll have an opportunity then if he can get on. Looks like the blue. Even angle to go into the pack of reds. That'll be the plan. He's played for one of the ball colours. Looks like green. Left himself a right angle now to go into the left-hand side of the pack. At pace.
It's definitely worth the risk, Terry, isn't it, as well? This is key, this shot. They'll spread far and wide if he gets this right. Now how's the cannon? Has he still got one? There could be one available in the right-hand side.
12.
Well, if he's not on one there, he's very unlucky.
Yes, well, he played in such a way, he didn't put a lot of power into that, did he? He was hitting the pack, he was going for more accuracy of strike in the pack. But bridging is very difficult here. See, the pink's almost on top of the white there. He's got to have a very high bridge hand. Could push this offline. I'd be glad to get that one out of the way.
Yes, 10 out of 10 there for keeping still, pushing through the cue ball in a straight line. Very easy to put unwanted side on there, but he's still one shot away from making this a good chance because the angle he has on this black is not great. He'd love to stun up in the red that's just above the black, but it would leave a red in the same pocket. This is tricky. Very well done. Didn't play the cannon, played for choice of red. Still not in prime position just yet.
20.
Yes, he had to put so much attention, then give so much attention to the pot that he couldn't think too much of position. Missing at this stage of a match down this area of the table could be only bad thing to do at this stage. That's very nicely played.
21.
Just cannon the red out of the way to leave him a path of the pink in the centre.
Too sure whether he's got a good angle. He's going to have to screw back in and try and make something happen with the cue ball. He has made something happen, but both reds are tricky. He's still one good positional shot away from making this a frame and match-winning chance.
Well, he's played two good splits and not got much out of it. He's still going and there's still reds available, but again, they're not what you'd call easy at this stage. It wouldn't be easy at any stage, as a matter of fact. Very thin cut back into the left corner is one option, or the one in the middle. He's going for the corner.
Unless he goes in and out of balk, he's not bound to get onto a colour. Well, he's played it slow enough.
28.
But you can see there's a little bit betwixt and between. Not nicely on the blue, not nicely on the yellow. But blue appears to be the better choice. But does anything plot in this right-hand side?
I think there is one little space between the pink and the red on the left for the other red, but I'm not sure about that. There it is.
I think he's going to have to play for that gap, Terry, as well, isn't he? Not a lot of room. don't think he's on it. I think he's possibly played for the bottom red of the 5 reds and wanted the cue ball to come about another foot further down the table. That's about the only place he can't be on anything. I think that's end of break.
.47 points in front. Don't think you can see the red. Well, he may be. He's having a look here. On the top of those 3 reds. May be able to get to the pot in angle. It doesn't look from here he can, but obviously he's taking it on. And it's in. And once again he hasn't got good position. May have a slight angle, but from here it looks dead straight. What have we got to do to win a frame here?
Well, he's going to have to just roll the blue in and leave this long red, and even that's going to be not a certainty to get onto the black off the next red, because the red to the right of the black is obscuring it. It's really tough work at the moment. This is the key shot now. This could be the frame and match winner.
39.
He didn't look at the green. The green was an option, you know. He didn't need the rest. He could have spotted the green and run through and come closer to these reds.
It's one of those, if you run it in on and off the cushion, you know you're on the black. If you stun it in, you're going to have to play a little stun run through. That was the right way to play it, but it could be costly.
Maguire, 39. Quiet, please.
Wow.
Thank you.
If it goes in, he's won the match. Bingham has done it before this week from 53 behind. He's going to have to do it again.
One.
We saw the gap in between the pink and red that makes the red that's close to the other red potable. I don't think that's anywhere. He's on nothing.
7.
Well, that's just tension in the arm, isn't it? You want to come another 6 inches across, and while we're looking here thinking, well, there's a great chance here to clear up, but he's been sitting in his chair thinking, I'm going to lose this match for the last, 15 minutes or so. It's been all Maguire in this frame.
Well, we know that this red pots, and it looks like Stuart's made his mind up to try and cut it in. Good shot. Needs to get onto a colour. Needs a big bounce.
Doesn't look good from here. Is that green past the brown into the corner? No, there's nothing on. Got to play a good safety now. Could say he deserved a bit more off the pot than that red.
Yes, somehow he's going to have one more chance. Oh, that's a clever shot. He couldn't have played that any better.
8.
That was tough to do that. Very good shot. Maguire plays the 2 cushion escape. Oh, why would he play a hit and hope there? Why would he do that? I can't believe what I've just seen there.
Obviously he's hoping to put 2 or 3 reds safe or something, but I don't know, I could never have played a shot like that. I would have tried to find a way out rather than just a hit and hope.
But the 2 cushion escape was on, the thin one if you wanted to do something like that, but surely you can't just hit and hope. Anyway, Stuart Bingham's still got it all to do, and the way the match has gone, this clearance is going to be super tough.
I wonder if Stephen Maguire was just a little bit upset there because he's been in the balls twice and played 2 good splits and got nothing. Perhaps he's feeling
9.
that things are going against him. You can do when you're out there.
It's all about that last red, isn't it, that's on the cushion. You'd expect him to pot the next red and black. So that's going to be the tough one. I mean,
15.
ideally off that last red he'd like to get up for a baulk colour, but of course he can't where the red is. So he's going to have a very tricky red and black to play.
16.
Now the trouble starts.
He's played the kiss. I can never have played that.
Well, I thought
Well,
the red
he
was
plays the
far.
kiss.
Yeah, I thought it was far enough off the cushion not to do that.
Ah.
And of course now the black spot is covered. This is tough. He's going to have to hit this quite firm, which of course makes the red definitely missable.
Taking the time and having the white cleaned on the black, so perhaps he had a bad contact there.
I mean, it's risky to play for the pink in the middle because to get onto the yellow is tough. Getting on the blue would be best. Oh, good pot. Well, to get on the black's even better. Oh, what a pot that was. Wow. Well, he can only sit there, Stephen Maguire, and only he knows what he played at his previous visit, because I don't.
33.
I think he lost control there, I'm afraid.
36.
Control of the mind, of course.
So he's going to need the pink and the black. So brown and blue will put him level.
Played these really well.
Not perfect on the blue though. It's always best to finish high on the pink rather than low on the pink. You don't want to be going in and out of baulk.
45.
He has gone high. Oh, doesn't really want to have to use the rest. Brilliant shot.
51.
Brilliant shot.
Brilliant stuff from Bingham. Crowd are loving it. Got into a decider. That 58 from Bingham was his best break for a while under the most extreme pressure. Who's going to win it now?
Let's rejoin our fantastic commentators
The final for
who
it.
are going to talk us
Bingham
through
to break.
who is going to lift this fantastic trophy.
Well, this Newport Centre crowd deserve this match to go all the way. They've supported this tournament greatly throughout the week. The crowds have been fantastic. Okay, they've not witnessed the standard of snooker you'd expect from some of these top players, but boy, you've had the tension in this match, and it deserved to go 8-all, and it has. Who will be the victor?
Well, he'd have to edge at the moment to Stuart Bingham. He's got the momentum after that clearance under pressure. And he's done it twice already this week.
Yeah, I mean, should Stuart go on to win this match now, I mean, that'll stand him in good stead, Terry, won't it, for future tournaments, having done what he's done this week. He's been down and out a couple of times.
Well, he's had a very good season anyway. He's won a number of the smaller type of events, and he's well into the top 16 now, where he's been trying to get to for years and years, and now he's cemented his place in there.
I mean, I haven't played for 15 years, and he was a very, very good player when I was playing. So it just shows you how it took an awful long time for him to produce good match play snooker. He's always been a great break builder.
He beat Stephen Hendry, didn't he, in the World Championships in his first or second year. Of course, he's World Amateur Champion. He's always had good pedigree. He's been an excellent player. Wins don't come easy to you. You've got to go out and fetch him, haven't you? And he's been doing that the last few years. I played with him.
Too sure whether he can get between the green and blue to hit the edge of the pack. He can't, so he's going to have to rest into the 3 reds just below the pink. Just hit the pink.
Stephen Maguire 6.
Well, he's given him 6 start. It's like the local league handicap here.
I don't know. Obviously, it's last frame, so anything can happen. But it was a very easy safety shot for Stephen to play there, and you know, you just know that Stuart's going to get it right this time. I don't quite see the point of putting it back, to be honest, that time.
Stuart Bingham helping our referee, Ivy we call her.
That's only because you can't pronounce a Christian name.
I called it really.
It's going to be a harder shot, I think, to get the cue ball on the tight. You see, the snookers, when the pack is tight, is no real advantage. I'd much rather, you know, the players play a safety shot off the pack. But he's played it well. So the first attempt at a pot could be Stuart's. Mind you, looking at the angle he has very little angle. Yes, he's going to play off this side of the pack. He's had a look at a plant, but I don't know whether he's found one. He must have done, playing it like that.
The crowd are on edge out there, aren't they? It's great. Tremendous entertainment, I must say, for those lucky enough to be here.
Yes, it's been a pleasure to be here this week. It is a wonderful venue, it really is. Who's going to pot the first red with a chance to get a 30 or 40 point lead?
Well, he's having a look at a plant again. The 2 reds on the the top side. There's 2 of them there planted towards the corner pocket. But you'd have to hit another red onto them to make the plant. It's come out a bit awkward from here. You may have to just touch into them or something.
Well, the plant is on, but the angle is going to he's going to have to play it as a 4-ball plant, because he's going to have to hit the outside red, and that could definitely make it into a reverse plant. It's very, very dangerous. I don't think there's any mileage in playing it, to be honest.
You'd have to reverse it a lot by the look of it. It was 6 inches out of the pocket. Well, it's high risk anyway, obviously. Any plant that the cue ball's directly in line with it is a certainty, but at this stage, he's given the shot a lot of thought.
I think it's if you can get the cue ball anywhere near the blue, I suppose it's okay. Doesn't want to be leaving that red in baulk, because it's an easy safety shot. So if he plays thin, try and get in just past the blue or just around the blue. Might be playing the plant. No, he's just running into them.
Could have another re-rack here. To keep touching back and forth. See, Maguire's looking at it now, but of course he's coming from a different angle into the reds to make a plant. He's more likely possibly than Stuart Bingham to take one of these do or die plants on. There you can see it, the white ball now is right in line with it, but he can't get to the red he wants to contact. He'll have to hit another red onto it.
Well, that stops the stalemate. As he misses the kiss on the brown with the red, he'll should be able to keep the white at that end of the table.
Wonderful arena here at Newport. There's nobody leaving, that's for sure.
Can't really get in behind the colour, so he's got to get a good white here. That's the key thing. Make sure the white's near a cushion. Now has the blue come to his rescue. The shake of the head from Maguire tells you it has.
I've got an easy shot here to play the cue ball towards the right hand top pocket where he is now. That would be the best place, but there's no shot on offer unless he's bridging over the green and cutting the red very thin. You could just drop on the red, of course, as to the right of the black, and but he's taking a chance. Needs to avoid the brown. There's a big target. Now there's reds all over the place. There's reds available in both corners, both difficult.
Well, this is still a don't I here. I mean, if it hadn't have been the final frame of the match, he'd be playing the red on the right hand side and kissing into the reds to the left of the black. But that's not in the final frame. But he wants to take it, and there's no way back into balk here, so if we just take this red on, he's going to have to play to get on the black. Oh, he found the gap.
Oh,
That's
he's nowhere.
amazing.
Very, very good shot that was. What a place to stop. Look at this. He thought he was an off, then he's caught the knuckle. He may be on the pink somewhere. Nothing.
Yeah, as thin as you like off the pink, there is room to get in behind the yellow. But the pace is very difficult to judge. It'd be hampered queuing. Got to hit the pink extremely thin.
Stuart Bingham, 1.
Felt it was too thin to get in behind the yellow, so he's played in behind the brown and he's made a pretty good job of it. Now, how straight is this red? You wouldn't want to be taking that on where the balls are at the moment.
It's a wonderful contest, isn't it? It has been from the start. Two men giving their very best to every shot for over 5 hours now. A lot of concentration gone in there. It all boils down to one frame.
Yes, pretty good that. It was only like what we call a containing safety shot. Just to kind of, hopefully at his next visit he'll have a better chance to get back into baulk. He knows that Stuart could get him in a little bit of trouble here, but sometimes you have to take that risk. Could play very thin off the left-hand side of the red on the left-hand side of our screens, and once again playing behind the brown. That looks as good as anything at first glance. Not looked at that shot yet though.
It's at times like this you can keep looking at them and still see nothing.
But he has spotted it now. How's the pace? It looks brilliant.
Don't think you can see anything here. You just can't see the edge of this red. Oh, it's very risky. Looks easier to me to play off the side cushion onto the one of the red to the left of the black. This could go wrong. And it has.
And miss. Stuart Bingham 4.
The miss won't be played. You can see the red at either side of the pink. Now, is this the half chance? That's all it is, a half chance with these reds where they are at distance.
He knew as soon as he'd hit it.
Thank you. Please keep quiet.
He got the pot, clean as a whistle, but not quite the intended spin on the cue ball.
Yes, he was playing close to the middle pocket on purpose to try and play it as a shot to nothing, but hit it too well. Stroked it beautifully, that one.
Maguire looks to be building himself up for a big long pot here.
Well, the angle he has on the red, if he misses it, he'll be leaving the red on the pink spot. Into the right same pocket. This is dangerous.
He hit that pretty good, and the way he hit it, he wasn't going to leave that red on. He's still been on the pink, but he caught it a little bit thin. But one far out. I think he had to go for it.
Now, is there anything available into that right-hand corner from that camera angle? Doesn't look like there is. The plant can be made because there's about half an inch in between the two balls. We saw at the last picture. You can see it's actually on the left-hand jaw. The only reason I'm saying it can be made because he can get the cue ball up for one of the baulk colours, so he could play it as a shot to nothing. He's having another look.
Decisions are getting harder now.
Got to hit this really thin, Terry, hasn't he, to be able to get the plant. So.
Well, it's the type of shot that if you can get the cue ball down the table for a baulk colour, if you get it, you know, you take a chance. But if you can't get the cue ball down the table, it would be risk.
So he's virtually got to hit this first red about quarter ball. It looks to be hitting it too thick to me. It looks to be hitting it too thick. They've got to play a lot thinner than that.
But has he left anything? Not really. That red goes there, look, the bottom one of those two, but he's going to collide into that bunch of reds and black. Taking a more difficult pot on here. Got it. Breaking down on the ball. Would have preferred to stay on the green.
So it's the first real chance for Stephen Maguire, but as you can see, with only the pink being available at the moment, it's going to be tough to score. If he gets nicely on the pink, it's going to get back on its own spot, which I think will just about cover it up again. So it's 3 or 4 reds away from making this good. That's the reason he's played for the blue, to get rid of one of those reds either side of the pink spot.
Played it well too. Perfect judgment of pace.
Well, there's a little bit of mileage in playing for the blue again here, because he doesn't really want to put the pink out of play for a shot. That's what he'd do. Don't know quite the angle he has on this red. It's absolutely dead straight, so may not be able to get onto the blue nicely, so he's going to have to play for the pink.
10.
Let's just have a little look where the pink will go. It's obviously got its own spot. I don't know whether it's going to be available into any pocket for a moment.
Well, it's huge, isn't it? Because when it goes back in its own spot, if it's available in any of the corners, I don't think it's going into the left, is it? Now then, has he got a shot to play a cannon to move one of the reds, or is it available?
16.
It's available.
Oh, I didn't
Ooh,
know
wow.
that. Now it's all of a sudden a bit different. This is a chance for frame and match.
$17. $23.
All you ask for in the final frame is a chance. This is Maguire's chance to get his hands on the Bet Victor Welsh Open trophy. He could be 5 minutes away from doing just that.
24.
Where the black and reds are, any sort of lead in this final frame would be excellent. So if he only pots the last 4 reds and 4 pinks, he'll virtually be over the line. Doesn't have to worry about those at the moment.
Don't think anything goes into the left corner. Now he's having to play coming across. Oh, it's gone wrong. No. Well, it's not perfect.
30.
He's on the red. He's got to play with the rest. Has he got the angle here to come back out for pink or blue, though?
Certainly not playing ball. He's having to stun it in round 2 cushions. There's the 2
31.
cushions. There's the cue ball. Maybe it's a little short. Just short enough to give him the angle to get in and out of balk. Maybe playing for the one just next to the pink. A little bit offside.
He looks short.
36.
He couldn't be short. He could have been long and had the other red into the right corner, but can he
He's
get to
just
the
on
red?
this there, I think he is. From that picture, I think he is.
It's very tight. He can't be slow and just turn it over, can he? With a touch aside, he's got to pot it and get out of there. It is on.
They're 42 in front. He pots 2 reds, 2 pinks. It'll be enough. That's after the next pink, of course. 2 more reds and pinks. He'd have won his first championship since the 2008 China Open.
43.
been a great effort, isn't it? It's a lot of good shots in this break.
It's very similar to Bingham's break, isn't it, in the previous frame where he had to clear from nowhere. These were very scruffy, the reds, when he came to the table. Stuart can only look on, hoping that he misses this next red, because that's what it accounts to. Virtually frame ball, the next red. Just needs a colour off it, that's all.
$50.
Double check in the score.
$51.
Well, he hasn't left an angle to pot the pink and dislodge the reds. Big cheer from the crowd because he's taken him into a safe position, but he's only 62 points in front with 59 left, so Stuart Bingham will be coming back to the table. Needing just one snooker.
Yes, he needs to make sure he doesn't kiss one of the baulk colours in playing safe here, because this is not all over by any stretch of the imagination. Is he taking this pot on next to the black? It's possibly over now. Probably broke his knuckles, but he's got his hands on the trophy. Boy, you give the table a whack there. That was brilliant. The 58 from Bingham in the previous frame was first class. The 64 and counting was very, very good.
65.
Just shows you what it means to somebody like Stephen Maguire, who's a seasoned campaigner, been a top 8 player for many, many years. It still means the world to win a major tournament. Looked at times that he wasn't going to win it.
69.
Especially when he trailed 7-5. Bingham had the first shot at the pink to win 8-5, or to go 8-5 in front, but this has been super for tension.
75. 76.
It's amazing how these balls now appear pretty straightforward when there's no pressure. Really pleased for Stephen Maguire. It's been a while. He's been too good a player not to have won more tournaments than he has. A fantastic effort. Both these players have played their part in an excellent match. A standing ovation from this Newport Centre crowd. Stephen Maguire wins his first tournament since the 2008 China Open. He is the new Bet Victor Welsh Open champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we interview these two warriors of the Bays, we have just witnessed one of the great Welsh Open finals. Another round of applause, please, for both men. Stuart, you have more than played your part in a wonderful week here. You've had a great season. Sometimes you just come up short, but it was also close.
Very. I had a chance there at 7-5. I missed I fluked the blue, missed an easy pink, and then the next frame I think I missed the blue off the spot, and I just felt, I just sort of threw it away a bit really. But obviously Stephen played really well to come back. He showed his spirit. He showed a world-class act he is. Congratulations to him. The crowd have been great all week. Just battered at the moment.
You did have such a hard run to this final, and I know you talked about Stephen's comeback, but we were calling you the comeback king. Willie Thorne said that your comeback against Neil Robertson in the decider was one of the finest clearances under pressure he'd ever seen. So you are right on top of your game, coming towards the business end of another big season.
Yeah, definitely. I had a message from John Virgo he said it's the best clearance he's ever seen. So obviously I thought go 8-7 down and then to clear up to go 8-all, I thought it's sort of writings on the wall. But I still can't believe I missed that plant. If I go for a plant, it's normally dead set. But I've got to say, it's down to one of my mates who's come, John Smith. Where he is, I always seem to lose. I always seem to lose when he comes. So,
John, don't come to the World Championship. Sorry, fella.
But I'd say it's been a great week. Some of the clearance, some of the matches I've pulled out, especially against Ding as well yesterday. It's been a great week. Congratulations to Steve again, and thanks everyone for being a great tournament.
Thank you, Stuart Bingham. A gallant runner-up, ladies and gentlemen. And here's a guy who knows what it feels like to finish runner-up, as you did a couple of seasons ago here. But Stephen, you've won big ranking events before, but it's been a while, 5 years. This surely is one of the sweetest moments of your career.
Yeah, I forget what it feels like to actually be the winner at the end of a tournament, so it's the best feeling ever, really.
You've just looked so hungry for it this week, a big win against Judd, and one of the journalists said to you, wow, you were the underdog there, and you said, really? And you just had a steely look in your eye as though you've really meant business this week. What's clicked? Why has it worked this week?
I honestly don't know. Maybe it's the fact I've been playing snooker since the new year, like non-stop. I've played so many great players in the last 3 months that maybe I'm just match sharp or something like that, but I honestly can't put my finger on it. If I could, I would keep my finger on it.
One of the great things about you is that we can see how much you care. There was a great shot of you punching the table. Is the hand okay?
It's gone. It'll hurt tomorrow. Just now I'm still like pumping and that, so. But tomorrow I'm going to feel that, I think, yeah.
What does this mean to you, Stephen? People have talked about the immense talent you've got and that you've brought to the game over the last few years. But this really is a big moment for you, again, at a key time of the season.
Yeah, obviously leading up to the World Championship in a couple of months' time. A lot can happen in 8 weeks, but so it's just to push on now for the next couple of months, and hopefully there's another 3 tournaments before the World, and if I can get my name on another trophy, I'd take it in a minute.
Do you feel this is the momentum you need going on towards the season climax? It's a wide open World Championship.
Yeah, it's always a wide open World Championship, but you can't get any better than winning a tournament. It's getting harder and harder every year, and I thought for a minute I'd thrown that away there at 8-7, and that would have hurt there if I'd lost that one at decider. So I can have a wee Jack Daniels and relax tonight.
I think there will be a little party this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have another round of applause for your champion. Well done, Stephen Maguire. And ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome your presentation party, Nick Addicott, Director of VIP Services of Bet Victor, and Miles Pearce, Commercial Director of World Snooker. Ladies and gentlemen, your runner-up, what a marvellous week he's had, receiving the silver medal and a cheque for £30,000. Ladies and gentlemen, Stuart Bingham. And your winner, with bruised knuckles and all, receiving a cheque for £50,000, the trophy and the title 2013 Bet Victor Welsh Open Champion, Stephen Maguire. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion, Stephen Maguire.
There he is. Many congratulations then to Stephen Maguire, beaten finalist here in 2011, and he's the champion. And Darren Morgan, so often we talk about the Judd Trumps, we talk about Mark Selby, But these two fellas, and especially Stephen Maguire, have just been magnificent this week.
Oh, it's been a fantastic week for both players, and today that final was second to none. That's one of the best finals they've had for a very, very long time. You know, both players played their part, played fantastic snooker. They could have gone any way. You know, right the way through the match, it could have gone any way. So very good.
And reading the newspapers this morning, Stephen was saying, and in fact when he came into studio last night after winning, he said, I'm getting sick and tired of people saying to me and reminding me that my last major was in 2008 at the China Open, and he said, I want to ram those words back down those journalists' throat.